Let's talk about some of the matches. We've got Hector Garza winning a 20-man X Division International Invitational Gauntlet. He's going to win a shiny new trophy here. The order of entry, number one, who else? Frankie Kazarian.
Ew, there's my man.
Then Sanjay Dutt, who's going to be eliminated by Alex Shelley. Puma, who here is going to be eliminated by Shane and Kazarian. LA Park, who's going to be eliminated by Kazarian. Jarrell Clark, eliminated by Shane and Kazarian. Sonny Siaki, Miyamoto, who's also eliminated by Shane and Kazarian. Michael Shane, who's eliminated by Spanky. Hector Garza, of course, won. Nasawa, he's eliminated by Siaki. Mikey Batts is eliminated by Garza. Alex Shelley is eliminated by Cross. Matt Seidel is eliminated by Shelley. Sonny Siaki is eliminated by Chris Sabin and Spanky. Jason Cross is eliminated by Psychosis. Shark Boy is eliminated by Siaki. Psychosis is eliminated by Red. I mean, I can't believe this is real. D-Ray 3000, my man, he's eliminated by Siaki. Amazing Red in at 18. 19 is Spanky. He's going to be eliminated by Sabin. Chris Sabin is number 20, and he's ultimately eliminated by Hector Garza. It's a crazy match. It's a great match, start to finish. And it's even written, there's nothing that could follow it. Really, really well received as an opener. I guess this is important, on the first 3-hour pay-per-view. Man, let's throw as much total nonstop action at them as we can. What better than the X Division, right?
Bingo. You just said it. Hey, guys, we're coming on the air. We had luchadors, and I think that was it was such a priority for me. You just saw LA Park and Garza and others, but guys, Kazarian, man, that just you naming off the names, Amazing Red, just a lot of fond memories. But we wanted to come out of the gate with what you just said, truly total nonstop action. And those guys always delivered. And you could, there's a lot of different ways to start the show, and you can't start the show with this kind of action every episode. But on the first one, it was almost, in my mind, a mandate, a no-brainer.
I know that we say a lot of times here on the show that timing is everything, but how far ahead of time was this roster? I mean, the folks I just ran through, they would be a main roster on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday right now, would they not?
Crazy. Yeah. I've as we've rolled along the last couple of years doing the pod, when I kind of look back on, and not just the top of the roster, I'm talking about for the entirety of that run. Again, I go back to 02 to about 2010. My goodness, man, I was incredibly blessed with awesome talent. They could go, they could work TV, their effort, they cared, they really cared about the product, and they just always delivered.
You're going to see some sponsorship here on this pay-per-view for a video game called Backyard Wrestling 2. Now, of course, we know that backyard wrestling has been something that was heavily criticized in the 90s and early 2000s. And now there's a video game about it, and they're advertising on a wrestling pay-per-view. I'm sure that is a home run opportunity for them. Was there anybody inside the office of TNA who was like, oh, God, I know we want the money, but do we have to do a backyard wrestling sponsor?
I think they brought it to me and the creative team with some kid gloves, and we're trying to kind of get a feeling like, are we going to get a lot of pushback? And Conrad, I'm like, it creates revenue. I totally understand why they're coming to our product to advertise it. And look, well, Conrad, let me ask you, I don't want to get down into a rabbit hole. Yes. What is your thoughts of backyard wrestling?
Well, I certainly don't think I would want to promote it on my television wrestling. I know you said that there's no such thing as bad publicity, so I get that. But and I know that, hey, we'd love to have the sponsorship. I really do understand that too. But it just feels like it's borrowing trouble to me.
Okay. Here was kind of my thought always. And when you kind of see different stories and look, the Bucks talk, I mean, I always looked at kind of backyard wrestling is, in the music industry, not everybody can start out playing gloves. Some folks legitimately start playing out in dive bars or garage bands. It's like, do you really call that music? What we used to do in the garage? Well, yeah, it was not good. Matter of fact, it was the shits, but it's kind of how we got our start. And I've kind of always looked at backyard wrestling that way, in that it kind of is what it is. Now, the safety stuff, to me, when I see some of the stuff, and Conrad, we'll trade videos, I just go, my God, you can't stop people from wanting to hurt themselves. But those are the kind of things that, hey, man, I really wish you wouldn't do that for your own personal health, because that's can be hell, it can cost you your life.
I mean, to your point, backyard wrestling, the way probably the Young Bucks were doing it, is not all that different from the backyard wrestling that Hermie Sadler and Cody Angle do in your pool.
Bingo.
But all of a sudden, if old Hermie said, all right, Cody, today's the day, and he's got a couple of light tubes, I feel like Mama Jarrett's going to say, now hang on now. We're not doing that.
Well, trust me, in that big brawl, there was a couple of things that Karen had to look at Cody and say, nope, I'm the commissioner tonight. That ain't happening.
Well, something else that ain't happening is we're never going to beat Kid Cash promos. I have a guilty pleasure for Kid Cash. I think everything he does is hilarious, whether it's intentional or not. I'm a fan. And he does a promo on this pay-per-view where he's talking to Scott Hudson, and he refers to Scott Hudson as Scotty Not So Hottie, which I think is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. My God, Scotty Not So Hottie. Match 2 is the Empire Saint and Johnny B. Bad and Ron Killings and Eric Watts. What? Yeah, it's November. It sounds like a crazy Survivor Series match. They're going to take on the Naturals, Kid Cash and Dallas, who we know as Lance Hoyt these days. Johnny B. Bad is here on the pay-per-view, sans mustache. What'd you think of Johnny B. Bad back in TNA? I mean, what a look that is.
Oh, I mean, I love Mark's a genuinely awesome dude. And again, I think this was building to a local Orlando disc jockey. Russ Rollins and Mark were best of friends, and Dusty was going to be involved, and myself, and we were building toward a kind of a local angle. Again, this kind of actually fits into this episode, in that Russ was a huge supporter, did us a ton of good, but it was creating an awareness. I did his show multiple times, and it was about, hey, TNA Wrestling, we're over at Orlando Universal Studios backlot. We're there every other week or whatever our schedule was. Again, creating that awareness that we were in town, because promoting a show that couldn't sell tickets, that was really a slippery slope in a lot of ways on how much money we were going to allocate to marketing it, knowing that Universal always also was using their marketing dollars, but that was toward park guests, because they wanted wrestling fans to buy a ticket to come in the park and get to see wrestling. So it was a challenge. We figured it out.